Then of course I messed it up, pressed the wrong buttons. I know it's probably not the right thing to do, but it's worked for me so far and I kind of like it. You can't just pull them out. It's almost time to harvest this one. I'm going to start with this, preparing this ground for a vegetable garden. It's going to be a lot of work. I can see that the soil was not tended to for a very long time. There's a hell of a lot of weeds here. And I've got these stumps, dead stumps, needs to come out. I just cut down some palm leaves from this tree and I want to cut them up a little bit smaller, otherwise I won't be able to throw them away. They're just too big. Today I'm going to then get rid of all this junk, everything that's loose that can be carried away. I'm also going to chop off what I can chop off. So I've progressed a little bit. To be honest, I wanted to take you a nice time lapse of me doing it. Then of course I messed it up, pressed the wrong buttons, and I thought I was recording a long time lapse. I was recording nothing. I chopped up the palm leaves. I cut off the stumps as low as I could. Now I'm just gonna clean everything out here, all the rubbish and everything, and then we can do the next step. All right, we've progressed quite a bit with the vegetable garden. A lot of it was done off camera, simply because not everybody in the family wants to be seen on YouTube in their dirty garden working clothes. We had to do this as a family effort because it was so much work. I'm shooting freehand now, so sorry for the shake. If you look behind me, you'll see it looks a lot different. We took out the weeds, then we did a lot of sifting to get a lot of junk and stones and stuff out of the soil, and it's looking quite nice now. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up view quickly, and just a brief overview of what we've done. We've planted today, so all the seeds are in. Now we just need time and beautiful rain. All right, I'm gonna start over on this side. We also put the fruit trees which were standing in the front of the house over here. So here we've got some lemon and narchi and mulberry. We've got a fig tree over here, and then I put this structure here. So there's a lot of green beans over here, some gem squash in that corner, and in this corner I've got the first of 2 cucumbers, and then in this space here I've got 3 kinds of pumpkin, 2 kinds of watermelon, and 1 cantaloupe, I think it's called. It's that orange round summer fruit. Over there I've got the dragon fruit, pineapple, and grenadella. On this side over here, this year I planted, you see all the little wooden sticks, I planted a whole lot of orca beans. I've never had enough space to plant lots of orca beans so we can have beans for winter for the soup. So this year I went ahead and did that. Here we've got some carrots, and over here we've got some Swiss chard, and there in that corner is 6 different kinds of tomato with some cucumber on that. Trellis will go up, that trellis there. And then over here I've got the kumquat tree on the right, the mango and pomegranate. Here's the almond tree. That's a quick update on the progress we've made so far. The first seeds have germinated and started coming up. Unfortunately, so is half the weeds on the planet also came up with it. So right now I'm in the middle of weeding like there's simply no tomorrow. I want to mention that my style of planting, if there is such a thing as a planting style, is something like crazy jungle style. That's where I don't really pay close attention to the minimum distances and spacing on the package. I also don't necessarily put one seed in a hole. For instance, especially with the smaller seeds, the really fine ones, it's just a mission with my hands, to pick up small seeds. The bigger seeds are easy. I just pour them in there and hope for the best. I know it's probably not the right thing to do, but it's worked for me so far and I kind of like it. So I want to quickly just show you around a bit how things are going, what's going on. Majority of the green that you are seeing is not what I planted, it's all weeds. These are gem squash. They came up nice. Over here is the green beans. I'm this year a bit disappointed with the less than 40% of the green beans actually germinated. So I'm gonna have to plant again to fill in the gaps. You see on this section here, there's not really a lot happening. There's one in the corner over there, but this is the biggest problem I have now. There, right there, you can see is a pumpkin or a watermelon or something. I went ahead and marked all the spots where I planted seeds here. I then very intelligently did not decide to label what it was, and I don't know which is which, but you can see the weeds are totally choking this plant, so this is going to have to be sorted out. There's another one over there. There's a big, strong, healthy boy coming out the ground here. All right, over here is the orca beans, and that's about 60% of them germinated. These ones are, if I remember correctly, it's called pinto soup beans. They came out quite nice. And then already this one, I already removed the weeds. This is the Swiss chard. You can see in this sections over here, the germination rate wasn't that good, so I'm gonna have to replant to fill in those gaps. Over here is where the tomatoes are. Quite a good amount of tomatoes came up. On the trellis over there is Ashley cucumbers. I have to every year plant a hell of a lot of Ashley cucumbers because the girls just love them. They literally eat them off the vine. One of my biggest frustrations with these weeds are these things. They come up in a little bush like this. You can't just pull them out. You have to dig them out because underneath there's a little ball like this. And if you pull them, they just break off from the ball, and the ball just makes new ones. You can see on this one, previously there was ones broken off, and it just keeps on making more and more and more. They keep coming back indefinitely. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, except you don't want the gift. That's the problem. We have been pulling up weeds like it is an Olympic sport, and we are competing for gold. Sadly, we are not winning. I don't know how long this soil have been standing unattended. I assume it's years and years of weeds coming up and dropping their seeds, weeds coming up and dropping their seeds, that we are now battling, but it is what it is. We did burn all the weeds that was here growing before we started planting. There obviously was dormant seeds in the ground, which is still coming up, and we're just pulling out and pulling out and pulling out, and we're not winning, but we still have vegetables. We've had the strangest summer season that I can remember in years. Normally this is our summer sun time, and since about 2 weeks before Christmas, like early December, we've had overcast, cloudy weather like every single day. And the vegetables do need sun. So we had a lot of rain. There was enough water. The vegetables also need sun to become strong and grow. And I've seen some of the vegetables that shoot up because they're going after the sun. They need sunlight. Also, I did plant some stuff in areas which they did not get enough sun. I learned from that. Next season we will do things a little bit differently. Let me give you quick tour of what's going on right now. Over here we have the Swiss chard. We have already harvested from it. You can see some of the longer leaves. They're a bit narrow. They're really tall. They're trying to go after the sun. This probably wasn't the best spot for them. I have a couple of varieties in here. See some of the yellow ones here. They taste really nice. We've had some of it already. Over here we have the tomatoes, and the tomatoes really suffered a bit because of the sun. They were falling over, growing too tall too quickly, and then falling over, so I had to stake them for support. Despite that, we have some lovely tomatoes already growing here. Over here, I want to show you. You see the shape of these tomatoes. These are yellow pear tomatoes, and the kids love them. And there's some more tomatoes growing over here. Then on this wall, we have the cucumbers. I want to show you what's going on here. There we can see a nice cucumber. We've already harvested 3 cucumbers, big ones that we ate, and there's still plenty small ones that's coming, so we are gonna have cucumbers for quite a while still coming out of here. Still plenty of flowers. Over here I have the big orca bean patch that I wanted so desperately to grow because we've never had enough so that we can use it for soup. This year there is plenty of beans. So the orca beans, we will let them dry on the plant and then harvest and shell them and keep them for winter months when we make nice soup. Just to update, the pineapple is still growing. It's going to take a couple of months before we can harvest them. The green peppers coming along nicely. This one is quite big. I think it's almost time to harvest this one. The green beans, oh, they are doing well this season. Let me come in closer here so you can see we've already had a big harvest of green beans and it was delicious, and it's ready. Some of them are ready again to be harvested. That's going really well. Now the pumpkins, they really suffered because of the lack of sun. This is the worst growth of pumpkins I've seen in a long time. The plants are small and they're not really spanning, and you can also see the weeds taking over this bed. We're constantly pulling up weeds. But despite that, here we can see a little butternut starting its journey. I also here went and got some buckets and I planted some potatoes. That is doing quite nice. I think that we'll get a couple of kilograms of potatoes out of here. Surprisingly, the sweet basil also decided to join the party. I at one point didn't think they were going to come up. Yeah, we've got some nice sweet basil. Alright, so I'm going to end this video off here, even though there's still plenty of growing that needs to happen. Some final thoughts I have is that there's a really nice life lesson here that I've noticed. You know, in our lives we'll always have circumstances that we cannot control. I couldn't control the weather for this, for the garden. And there will always be weeds in your life that will come up and will create disruption and create discomfort, and you constantly have to work on that and pull them out. And this is now metaphorical speaking. In, you know, the weeds are a symbol of things that come up in our lives. If you look at the bigger picture and you keep focusing on what's important, we still have vegetables. We still have really healthy, nutritious vegetables, and we have a lot of enjoyment from growing them and harvesting them and eating them. If you just keep doing what you have to do in your life, focus on what's important, keep pulling up the weeds, yeah, just keep going on, then you can still have a lot of enjoyment and a lot of happiness in your life. It's just something I've noticed, and that's why I want to encourage you. Find a little patch of land, get some seeds, start planting it. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Don't wait until you have the perfect soil with no weeds and all of that. Just start doing it and then improve as you go along. Even if you don't have a patch of land, but you've got 2 or 3 buckets that you can fill with sand, there's still so much you can grow in containers, and there's really nothing stopping you. This is something that we as a family really love to do and enjoy. Gets us out in the sun, it makes us happy. So I want to encourage you, just get some seeds, start planting it and enjoy it every step of the way. And I promise you that you'll learn so much from it and you'll get so much joy from it. This is really why I made this video. I wanted to show you from an empty piece of soil to an actual garden that you can enjoy a little bit of the process we go through. And I really do hope that this has helped you and that you now feel a little bit motivated to go and do it yourself. Just do it. I promise you, you'll enjoy it so much, because that's what it's about. It's trying new things. You don't have to, we have this false illusion that we all have to be experts. It's not true. Better to just do it and figure it out as you go than not doing it, than just giving up. I really, from my heart, hope that you found some value in this video and that you are inspired to go and get some seeds and do this for yourself. That's really what my heart is about in this video. I want you to also do it and get the enjoyment from it. Thank you for watching along. If you know somebody who loves vegetables and all of this, please share the video to them. I think they will also love it. Until my next video, make your best life. Surprisingly, the sweet basil, I just cut down some palm tree, but the vegetable